Hola from Santo Domingo. We got here on Monday, and from the minute that I was in my gate at JFK, I started to freak out. Like, oh, maybe people aren't going to speak as much English as I had read and planned upon. Everything was announced first in Spanish. Then most of the time it was repeated again in English, not all the time. Um, and I got to my hotel okay. For the second time trip, they didn't have my reservation. The woman was very nice and said it'd be okay. When I gave her my credit card, she was like, oh, cash only. And I didn't think I was going to be using, I thought I could, I don't know what I was thinking, but I had only taken out $50 in pesos translated. And I used most of that on my taxi to the hotel. So she let me come to my room, and then another guy who spoke English told me where the ATM was. But of course, I got lost trying to find it, which I think his directions are bad. Then I had to be escorted by a guy who works here to an ATM because I could not find it on my own, which made me feel like a complete idiot. Which is interesting to think of the perspective of like people who are not idiots because of the language barrier feel like it. That's me. Um, but it is so hot here. I step outside and like walk a block, and I'm like so hot. Yesterday I spent about like 3 hours outside in the afternoon and felt like I had walked through a water park, like just drenched in my own sweat. It's great. But it cools down in the evening. It's not as bad, and sometimes you can get a breeze, or if you're in the shade. They have quite a few like park spaces throughout, and so it's been nice to like sit on a bench and people watch. And they have tons of pigeons that people feed. People feed the pigeons. They like to see the pigeons congregate and like fly. Then someone else will put food over there, so then all the birds will fly over to this other food. And so it's back and forth of feeding pigeons. Pigeons flying everywhere. Um, and the architecture here is absolutely beautiful. Very old, Spanish, gorgeous. Lots of colors, lots of texture. So it's been really interesting to walk around and see all that. Haven't appreciated the hissing, the whistling kind of stuff. Hence my fake wedding ring, which hasn't done any good at all. um, and then, but it's been an interesting city to visit alone. I will say that.